Yeah, guys, it's the kid, 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 it's the kid. So, a lot to discuss. We have to review what has happened this weekend in the football. We've got to review the Champions League because we didn't actually talk about Rashford the GOAT. So we have to try and look and reflect on Marcus Rashford the GOAT. And then after that, we're going to look ahead to the Chelsea Man U game. We're also going to look ahead to Tuesday and Wednesday's games. But so before I want to leave Champions League for the second half of this segment. So just for this first, we're just going to pretty much reflect on what has happened in this weekend so far. So but I don't think that's obviously like, look, we have the whole, AC Milan getting the Pienza getting his 2 goals, amazing scoring run, Barcelona extending their lead at the top. Of course, it was FA Cup, no real big FA Cup games, really. Liga, we get it. Bundesliga, we get it. But I think the big thing was Real Madrid taking an L. This is now their 6th loss of the season. It's been a pretty pathetic loss this season. But I think what was pretty much dominating the Twitter conversation and why I released a video was the whole Sergio Ramos thing. And it was very ironic that in the video that I said he's amazing, he can maybe stand near the legendaries table, the only thing that holds him back are his red cards. What does he go and do? He gets 2 yellows and thus gets his ass sent off. So let me take it to the panel here. And let's just start off first with this. Very simple. Can Sergio Ramos right now be considered a legendary defender? Forward. Kick us off.
Oh, it's a tough question, and I think just answering just your question, can he be considered a legendary defender? There's a question mark instantly there, but if you look at just the centre-back position, then I think automatically he is a legendary centre-back. I think in terms of just pure defending, maybe you can't sit at the same table as, let's say, like a Nestor or Maldini or some of the greats that we've seen in the history of the game, but in terms of playing that role as a centre-back, obviously in the modern day, there's so much more to being a centre-back. Obviously, his distribution from the back, the fact that he does get quite a lot of goals and a lot of clutch moments, his position, and obviously his athleticism, his pace. So I feel like overall, when you look at it as a centre-back, not just as a pure defender, I think he can be at that table with along.
Okay, so wait, but explain this more. What is the difference between a centre-back and a defender?
Oh, all right. So let me give an example. So a really good defender right now, obviously, is Godin, and he's obviously a great defender in terms of what he does, in terms of just his pure defending, right? Marking, clearing from the ball, just tackling, all that aspect, right? But then let's say someone who is really good at playing the centre-back role, let's say like a David Luiz, for instance, who isn't a great defender, no one would really say that, but he plays the role of a centre-back really well in terms of what he offers in that position, in terms of his distribution, his passing from the back, and other things like that, which maybe you wouldn't associate with like your great centre-backs. Like growing up, you wouldn't say, oh, Nesta was great at all these extracurricular things, but in terms of just pure defending, that's what he could do. So Ramos has all of that in spades, and he also is a really good defender. And on his day, a great defender. He's marked as some of the best strikers of this generation.
Okay, all right. Hazem, where do you stand on this shebang? Can Ramos be considered right now a legendary defender?
Yes, you can consider him a legendary.
So he's as good as your avatar. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'll say he considered the same table basically, because what he's achieved, how his role in that achievement, you have to consider that, and he's been great for Real Madrid for how many years now? Obviously, moving from that left back position to center back. But look, saying that he can sit on the same table and be considered in the same status, he's on the lower end of that. I don't think that means he's as good as Maldini, as good as Baresi, who was even better than Maldini. But look, he's definitely in there in the conversation, but I don't think he's at the level of those top 3 of Baresi, Beckenbauer, and Maldini.
Okay. Jujuman, where do you stand on this?
I say Sergio Ramos is the greatest defender ever. No, it's true. No, it's true.
I mean, Jujuman, you should try and build up to these outlandish statements. Try and just prep us before you go crazy. Okay. Why is it?
There's no defender that has the same accomplishment as Sergio Ramos. I mean,
don't talk to me about accomplishments. Talk to me just on pure defending, the skill.
That's for you.
I think but Sergio Ramos, like we know he's no discipline, but based on his accomplishment, I know he's no discipline, but he's still a good defender. I mean, so many players have come out and say that he's the toughest defender they've ever faced. Even Ancelotti himself said that Sergio Ramos is the best, based on is the best defender ever. I know he's undisciplined, he plays rough at times, but Ancelotti said that when he was at Madrid. I know what I'm talking.
He said he's the most complete. He didn't say he's the best.
He said he's the best. He's the best.
So Jujuman, you consider Sergio Ramos the best defender of all time?
Yes, he is. There's no defender that has the same accomplishment as him. There's no defender that has come as clutch as him in finals. And Sergio Ramos is the best. He has nothing to prove. I don't blame him he needs a break from all this, from winning too much. He needs a break. So the red card is nothing.
All right. What's it called? Liverpool for everybody. Sergio Ramos, where do you stand on this then?
No, I mean, I think if there's a list for the best defenders who've won trophies and scored goals and all that, yeah. But as far as the best defender of all time, I can't see that. A lot of players in all kinds of sports benefit from being around really good teams. Mustafi, I think, has a World Cup. Is he even considered one of the top 50 defenders?
No, but he never started a game, so that goes to your logic.
Yeah. Go on.
So where do you so where do you consider him then? All time. Do you consider him legendary, just below the legends, overrated, underrated?
I just overrated, I would say.
Oh, okay.
What?
Easy, guys. You've talked. Okay, easy. All right, Machine, Sergio Ramos, and don't be biased. Is he a legend?
I'm not biased. I don't think he's. I don't think he's even in the top 5 central defenders.
Wow.
I won't say this, but he is the greatest captain of all time. There's a difference.
Nah, come on, man.
Okay, so where would you rank him all time then as a defender? Where would you rank him all time as a defender?
Top 10, but not top 5. I think I'd rate Pepe above him.
Oh yeah.
No. That's
look, Machine. No, Machine. I know that you're Portuguese, but that doesn't mean that you have to be insane. So
no, but he's just. But technically, Pepe is a much better defender, and he should have got. Listen, if he'd gotten the Ballon d'Or in 2016, I wouldn't have kicked a fuss. I thought it would have been perfectly well deserved. But Ramos, I don't see any here where he would have deserved to win a Ballon d'Or. And he often makes a lot of mistakes, particularly in the beginning of seasons. He then whips up towards the tail end, in the business end of the season. But no, he's very up and down. He's very.
Can I just add to that? Like Ramos has never been the direct reason for the whole team. Like he wasn't the main reason for like Real Madrid winning the Champions League or something like that. He was an important part.
La Decima. Okay.
No, La Decima.
Okay, La Decima is just. I guess the ball just had itself.
Okay. Look, man. This isn't a bloody Spanish thing. Okay, please speak English. Okay, habla inglés. Red. Sergio Ramos, and please don't be biased. Sergio Ramos, is he the best defender of all time? Like this psycho Jujuman says, or how great is Sergio Ramos?
The greatest is you have to say Beckenbauer because based off his accomplishments. But I will say this: if there's a Mount Rushmore of defenders, Sergio Ramos is there. To say that, how could you rate Baresi ahead of him? Baresi never had a World Cup, or Maldini never had a World Cup. They've never won anything. No, he doesn't. He didn't even play one match in that World Cup. He was on the bench. No. He didn't play, Hazem. He didn't play, man. He didn't play at all.
Yeah, but he reached the final in the '94, and he had one of the best performances.
And he lost.
He lost.
Yeah, because he missed the penalty.
He couldn't
exactly.
Easy, one at a time. My red finish thing.
Also, do you want to say individually, Sergio Ramos has been one of the most vital players to our team. You have to say in attack it was Ronaldo, in defense it had to be Sergio Ramos, and then of course in the midfield Modric. And for his part, he carried that. He helped that team so many times. Just last year, we played against Juve away. We won 3-0. No Ramos in the second leg. We lost 3-1. Ramos has brought this team to 8 semis in a row.
He was part of that team.
Let him land.
No. Wait, let him land. Okay, let's red land, then I'll go to people.
So I'm just going to say what accomplishments Ramos has done with his teams. Let's not forget that he was part of one of the greatest Spanish sides of all time, or the the greatest, 2 Euros in a World Cup. He went to 8 semis in a row, 4 Champions League, captained his side to 3 in a row, went on a 40-game unbeaten streak, the longest in Spanish history. He captained his team to 73-game winning streak. A goal scoring streak. Only tied with Pele's Santos. This guy has done so much, and for people to just underrate now because he's. I'm gonna wrap it up. Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is very hard because Ramos is active. It's very hard to rate him highly. But when he retires, his career will age like wine. People will only appreciate what he's done when you see how hard it is to accomplish what he's done. So,
Okay,
yeah,
wait. I want everyone to speak first, then you can have retorts. Okay, Barca, Sergio Ramos, where do you stand in this?
I think Sergio Ramos is, for me, has to be in the argument. I know that for a fact. For me, what he's done with this Real Madrid team, and not even only with the Real Madrid team, won a World Cup, won a Champions League. For me, those are the two major competitions that show me if you are a good player or not. You know what I'm trying to say? So, for me, like I said, man, I think he's better than all the high PL defenders.
Okay. Barca, now, this is your final warning now, because a lot of people have told me to not invite you back into this hangout, and a lot of people want you off. So this is your final warning. If you make another comment about how the Premier League is hype, you will be banned from this hangout. So this is your final warning.
Okay. Wait.
So again, you've been warned. If you make another comment like that, you'll be banned from this hangout.
Can I? All right. So my thing about the whole high PL thing is like
no. Barca, finish your points here. If you mention another thing about high PL, I will ban you from the hangout. This is your final warning. Finish your Ramos point.
Okay. Well, anyways, so I think Ramos has to be in the argument, greatest defender of all time. I think he's better than PK. I'm not being mean. I'm a Barca fan, but this is me saying this. I actually feel like he's better than PK, and he's one of the best. I mean, for me, I would say he's the greatest La Liga defender that I've ever seen in the league. You know, for the past couple of years, based on his mobility, his mentality, and also the way he carries himself.
All right. FG.
He's definitely top five or worst. And Double H, if you're using your logic, he's definitely the best defender of all time because he's got a World Cup, unlike Baresi and Maldini and Nesta. So, I mean, by your logic, he's the greatest defender of all time. But for me, he's top five for sure, easily, without a doubt.
Okay. So
can I clarify my position?
Yeah. Machine, you wanted to retort.
Previously, I said he's a great captain and not a great defender, and I do maintain that there are better defenders than he is. But as all those people, even Pepe for me is a better central defender. But as a player, I rate Ramos above all of them.
Okay. So as you play,
as a player, he's more technically gifted, arguably, than all those players, and he's clutch, and he's.
Have you seen Barzi's playmaking?
And he's a true leader. He's somebody that can inspire a team to greater heights than they would reach otherwise.
Okay. But look, I think look. I mean, wait. Let me, Mr. Daniele, do you have your mic working there? All right. Okay. So we'll keep it brief because we have a lot of stuff to get through. Sergio Ramos, is he already a legendary defender? Yes or no? Based on what? I don't care about achievements. Why, as a defender, is he a legend defender? Don't bring in achievements to this.
But achievements is key. Have hope.
Yeah,
Barca, Barca, I'm talking about Daniele. Thank you. Yes, I can hear you, bro. Speak.
Exactly.
True.
Oh, I think you got stopped. Okay, so actually no. You see, Hazem. You see, I understand because again, I think that Baresi and Maldini are big time, and I'm huge fans of them. But for me, I think a strong argument is to put Ramos perhaps ahead of them.
Ahead.
Because my thing is this: is that doing it.
Hello.
Wait, easy. Okay, I'll get back to you. But my thing about this is that Baresi had a great '94 World Cup final. It was bloody amazing.
Yeah.
But to not go all the way, and you can say it's the team, it's penalties, it's this and that. Like Ramos has been a very important element to World Cup wins, Euro wins, Champions Leagues, not just Champions League, Champions Leagues, consecutive Champions Leagues. So as good as Maldini and Baresi are, and for me, this is not a thing about achievements, because achievements is anything. Like what's it called? Albiol is one of the most decorated bricks that we'll ever have. But my thing about this is that he has been a very important part, because without Ramos, Real Madrid do not win those Champions Leagues. They don't.
No, but HH, let me tell you something. Like for Baresi, he literally brought Milan back to relevancy. Like in the 70s, we became shit after Rivera retired. We were so bad, and we were literally finishing mid-table. When Saki came in, and he was the center of that project, and he captained us for 20 years into becoming the club that everyone recognizes, into winning back-to-back Champions Leagues.
Machine, put the poster down.
You could say the same thing for Ramos.
And obviously his captaincy and revolutionizing defending through an amazing use of the offside trap under Saki was insane. And he
no. The one revolutionary of defending was Beckenbauer.
No, but Baresi as well. You have to give it to
it's Beckenbauer.
No.
Beckenbauer invented the sweeper rule.
Drives forward were insane.
Yeah, it was all Beckenbauer that started that. Beckenbauer started that drive forward, the playback from. Beckenbauer was the initial one.
Wait,
you could say that Cruyff started tiki-taka and Pep Guardiola developed it. It's also revolutionized.
Wait, one more thing. Just because you start something does not mean you're the best at it. I mean,
exactly.
we need to make it clear that. No, you're
not
the best if you start something.
He was insane at it, and the way he did the offside trap and drives forward and the playmaking. Sorry, no one was like that.
I'm just gonna add one last point, and then I'll end. Just for your red card point, to the red card point. Sorry.
No, because see, should have been read before I speak again. That's why I want to bring up, because I think this was another question I wanted to ask. I believe that discipline is huge. I just learned right now because I asked the question on Twitter. Bart Simpson never received a red card for his entire career.
Philip Lahm is another all-time great. That's no doubt. But the thing is about Ramos is he was always designated as Madrid to be man-mark players. He was the one that was supposed to make those technical fouls.
Why do you call him Bart Simpson?
Okay. Now, also with Ramos, he doesn't have like the privilege that Maldini had before. Is that with Maldini, he lived in an era where physicality was more allowed in football. Like today, his red card was because he attempted an overhead kick, right? And that he got a second yellow on that, which back then that wouldn't have happened. Nowadays, that stuff is not allowed anymore. It's people don't allow that kind of those kind of attempts in football anymore. Football's gotten much softer. They're more yellow cards are given out more frequently. So Ramos always gets punished for being a bit more physical on attackers. So I feel like it's very harsh criticism to just judge him based on that. And with that disciplinary record, he still accomplished all that. And in the World Cup, with Spain, when it comes down to it, Ramos doesn't go for those red cards.
Wait, one more thing. I think we have to use achievements. When you compare two great players equally, the achievements is what decides the best. When you're two equally great players, that's why Ramos is ahead of all of them.
They're not equal though. In terms of pure defending, Ramos isn't close to Baresi.
Wait. No, but see, Hazem, you can't say that. You can't say Ramos isn't close to Baresi. That's
in terms of pure defending, yeah.
No. In terms of because I think the thing is this. Wait. How good would Baresi be in today's climate? Remember, Baresi was playing at a time where the football was slow.
Isn't that sort of immaterial? Because what defines how good a player is the impact that he had in his own time.
Oh no! But my belief is that there are players today who I believe that could be amazing in any era. I believe that, for instance, Robin could be amazing in any era. Doesn't matter what era it is.
No, it's not.
I
No,
believe
he
that
wouldn't.
someone
No, he
like
wouldn't.
like Varane, for instance, he could be great in any
Well,
era.
why don't you
because-
say Ronaldo then?
Wait, Double H, you're telling me
no, that's really subjective.
One
It's really
20 is
hard
going
to
to survive
judge.
in the
Wait,
80s.
No,
wait,
but
one second.
the
Okay,
thing
FG
that
speak.
separates this era from the previous one is sort of physicality, because they were a lot harder with the tackles.
And it's a lot more attacking. A lot more goals have been scored in this era based on how much more attacking the midfielders are. So therefore, you could argue that it's. I mean, basically, it's different because you could say it's much more difficult to defend now based on the whole inside forwards and attacking midfields. But then back then, you had to deal with strike partnerships and much more physical strikers. But my thing about Baresi is that I'm not sure whether Baresi would cope with how quick and how faster the game is to today. It's not taking anything away from him, but I'm not sure. Whereas for someone like Ramos, based on his mobility, I think that if you take him back in the other era, he'll find it a bit tougher against the tougher strikers, but he'd be able to cope.
Let me tell you why he would. Baresi was already had to be really fast and really mobile because of the high line. We played insane high line under Saki, so he had to be immediately moving forward for the offside and moving back immediately if they don't make it. So he was really.
No, but it's true. No, but Hazem, all I'm saying is that you can't tell me that Ramos isn't close or in the same conversation as Baresi and Maldini.
I take that back. I won't say he isn't close, but as I said, he sits at the same table, but I'd still put Baresi over him and Beckenbauer.
Look, and he's got a World Cup. There's no discussion. Next topic, man.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Oh my
God.
He's got a World Cup.
Okay. Look. Okay. Let's. So, I think let me just put it straight. Where should we, based on his goal tally, the amount of goals that he has scored, where should Piatek be rated right now as a striker?
Season wonder.
And also, I don't want to hear any insults about the Syria. Any insults about the Syria, I won't be happy. So, since A1 has been kind enough to join us, so A1.
What's good?
I'm sure that you probably would have seen Piatek's amazing goal.
Yeah, I saw his 2 goals.
I saw
him.
So
the movement was very good, and the header.
Where would you rate Piatek right now among strikers?
At the moment, top 5.
Above Lewandowski.
At this current moment.
Wait. So
Form-wise. This current moment. Are you talking about it?
Okay. So where would he be? Okay, you say top 5. Is he 4? Is he 5? Is he 3? Is he 2?
I would say he's 4th.
Who's 5th?
I don't know. It's too much thinking right now.
Okay. No. That's okay. Cool. Okay, 4th. Interesting. Okay, so but based on the form, not legacy, based on the form. That's cool.
Come on, form, man.
All right, FG. Where would you rate Piatek right now?
Yeah, he's 5th. I would say, he's 5th right now, and he'll probably be the best Polish striker right now if Lewandowski flops on Tuesday.
Wait, FG, can you just have some flipping?
Nah.
What the hell?
Nah, he's gonna be the best.
FG, relax. We're coming to the Champions League. Relax, man. Chill. I know what he has to do, man. What the hell? Forward, Piatek, where do you rate him, or is he overrated?
I mean, I am more reluctant to really rate players that highly after the. I mean, he's only been doing it for 6-7 months. I mean, people knew about him this time last year. Not taking anything away from what he's doing. He scored some amazing goals and he's in great form.
Keep it real, man. I don't want you to hear to make excuses. Just keep it real. If you're being hashed, keep it real.
I mean, keeping it real. I mean, I wouldn't even put him tier 3. You got to do this for at least a season before we can rate you like that. And again, it is the Serie A. This isn't the Serie A like the 90s or the early 2000s. Let's be real about it. So, top 5? Come on, man. Let's be real, guys. Let's be real.
So you're saying that he doesn't deserve to be rated top. What about based on form? He's still not top 5
this season.
I mean, based on maybe a celebration, but then even that, I don't rate a celebration. I think the fans make it sound good, but that's all I can really rate him. He's not it, man. He's
better than your strikers.
FG, quiet.
He's better than any striker you have.
Can't be putting him top 5. That's too much.
Okay.
Too much.
Hazem, don't put him number 1 or else I'll just kick him in the hangout. So where do you rate Piatek now?
This season, number 1 is Lewandowski, obviously. But
what?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Hazem, are you wait? Are you smoking? Have you heard of a guy called Sergio Aguero? Are you crazy?
He's in
top scorer in Champions League and
he woke up in 2014.
You realize he scored in the Bundesliga, right?
Okay, wait. Let's stay on topic. So Hazem, Piatek, where would you rate him right now?
I'll put him 3rd.
Oh god.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I can't name any. I can't name more players ahead of him this season.
So
Because
there's remember there is Harry Kane. There
no,
is
he's above Harry Kane this season.
what?
He's above Harry
Oh
Kane
my
this season.
Wait. Double H. Now you rate Harry Kane? Okay, I see.
No,
Next person. I want to speak.
Finish your points, man.
Huh? Based on current form and this season, he's above Harry Kane, and that's not an argument. Harry Kane is good, but what can I do? He got injured, and obviously.
Okay, so you're saying Piatek is third now in the world.
This season, yes. Third striker, yeah, third striker in the world.
Okay, all right. Juju man.
First of all, this guy is a one season wonder. He hasn't done anything past. I rate players after 2 seasons because 1 season anyone can have a good 1 season, so it doesn't mean anything. Second of all, I can think of at least 5 strikers that are better. Salah is better than this guy. Higuain is better. Aguero is better. Lewandowski is better. Dzeko is better. Cavani is better.
What has Dzeko done this season?
Yeah, Dzeko has an EPL title. What has this guy done?
We're talking
Scored
about
18
this
goals
season.
in Syria.
Yo.
What are you talking about? We're talking about this season.
Yeah, but
Juju man.
what has he done? 18 goals in Syria.
Juju man,
That's
based
it. That's
on
it.
recent form.
What has done?
Juju man, based on recent form.
No. So everyone's telling me I can just score 18 goals in Syria and I'm the best strikers in the world. That's it. That's it. Like no title.
I agree with
nothing.
Juju man.
That's
I
it.
agree with Juju
There's
man.
no accomplishment, and
course
it's
you do.
1 season. It's like 6 months. That's it.
But that was the question. We said
No, that's not the question. He said, you guys say he's the best striker in the world, like among the best striker. He's not. He's a one season wonder. He hasn't done it.
Yo,
Juju
chill,
man,
bro.
listen
chill,
to me.
bro.
Relax. Take a deep breath. Count to 3, and let me repeat the question one more time.
Yeah.
Based on recent form, forget about EPL titles, forget about Edin Dzeko because he used to be a brick. Based on recent form, where do you rate your boy Piatek?
I don't rate him.
Okay, thank you. Liverpool v everybody. Based on recent form, Piatek.
Top 15.
Whoa.
0 accomplishment. 0.
Yeah, top 15. Recent form, yeah, he's doing all right. But again, I need to see more. But recent form, I give him top 5, but I'm not ready to go and holler for that yet.
All right, okay. Machine, Piatek.
Probably like 6, just short of top 5, but we're getting there. And it's a tremendous feat to be the top scorer with a team like Milan in a league where Ronaldo is playing, and he's neck and neck with him at the moment.
He's gonna score more than Ronaldo this season.
Hasn't. He's not. Cristiano might break the goal scoring record this season.
Yeah.
Again, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Unfortunately, Red, Piatek.
I rate him as a promising prospect. He's not this guy hasn't even completed 1 professional season yet, so we can't just go ahead and call him top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20. He's done well. He's in, his goals are quality, but come on, I want to see more. It's only been 3 matches. I want to see more before I actually can rate this guy highly or rate him at all.
All right. Okay. Let's ride now to.
You didn't even let me answer.
Look, how did you get back into this hangar? Look, complicated. You're on timeout, bro. I'm sorry. I've got to put your time. So we've right on time. Halfway through, we are now going to discuss Champions League. So before we look ahead to the second half of the knockout games, we're going to look at the first half of the games. So who was surprised by PSG pimping Man United at their crib? Let me start with A1.
Wasn't surprised at all. I did think that Man United could give him a little bit of threat because of the front 3 and plus Pogba, but PSG they moved very well. They had Marquinhos targeting Pogba, and it was just a professional win. Mbappe doing his thing, Di Maria as well. Yeah, it was just a professional win, and obviously Man United had their injuries, Lingard and Martial, and obviously that's pace gone, and they put on Alexis and Mata, and there's no pace at all up top, so it's difficult for them to
So okay, so do you think there's any chance for United to do something?
No, especially without Pogba. No.
Oh damn! I forgot. Oh yeah, forfeit rule. Yeah. All right. FG.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I mean, United, man. These
Wait,
guys
wait,
love
wait,
me.
wait, wait. What? You were surprised?
Oh
Were
yeah,
you
I had
surprised or not
United.
surprised?
I had United winning 3-0, but yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah, what an idiot.
And then Pogba, man, I'm done rating that dude. He's a clown. I mean, getting marked by Marquinhos, who's not even in midfield the whole game. Then you have Rashford. He's a nothing player. Martial,
Oh
he should stop
my
playing
days.
football. I mean, that's how bad that dude is. There's a reason why he's not on the French team for a reason. And yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Wow. All right. Forward.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I'm disappointed in myself for not seeing that coming. I mean, I kind of fell into the really good fun that United had, and obviously the injuries that PSG had.
Okay, so you thought United were going to win?
Yeah, I mean, I did predict that, and again, I'm disappointed in saying that because really, even though I said it for a different matchup, the UCL experience that teams have is very important. That's what PSG have in spades, and it showed in that game. And also the inexperience and the tactical deficiency that's all he has, because he didn't have a different formula to go to. He didn't have a different system to go to when it wasn't working. Pogba was being marked at the game. You're going to get him to drop deeper. I thought maybe even moving Rashford to the wing maybe would have helped them, especially in the second half. But he figured his ways. Tuchel sussed them out, and then once he scored that first goal, it was only going to be one-way traffic from there.
Damn. All right, Hazem.
Yeah, man. All I can say is all you guys predicted United to win, and I was one of the few who said, PSG easily. And look, it was a convincing win by them.
But wait, hold on. Let me ask you this: do you still feel PSG would have won the game or won it easily if Martial and Lingard weren't injured?
Yeah. I still think it wasn't a case of that. It was a case of tactics. Like you saw how Solskjaer got outclassed by Tuchel. Like first half, okay, that was good. That United defended well, and then immediately Solskjaer did the same thing as did versus Tottenham. He changed the 4-5-1 defensive formation to the 4-2-3-1, and then he started getting exposed all over because he wanted to go more attacking. So, and also obviously PSG defended really well, and throughout the game they're just playing between the lines. So, and that works really well for them. They put Marquinhos on Pogba. They neutralized the main threat, and Tuchel showed that.
Okay. So are you gonna give it to Tuchel or just PSG being better?
Both, but Tuchel, yeah, you have to give it to both. In such a Champions League game, you need everything to add up, and you need an experienced manager and someone who knows how to outclass Solskjaer. Solskjaer, he's not. You can see he's not ready for that level, and he couldn't take advantage of those injuries. And Tuchel, he put up a very competitive lineup despite the injuries. Obviously, I said Di Maria is going to perform. And even you were against that.
Oh, no, that was obvious. Like, come on, HH.
Relax.
Look.
Okay. Let's move on. Because everyone needs to talk. Okay. Juju man. Thoughts.
First of all,
be fair. Be kind.
I'm very fair. Because what's he called? United. I wasn't surprised. Like, even if Lingard, Martial were not, even if they were fit, I'm glad they were injured. I mean, they didn't want to be embarrassed because even if they were fit, it doesn't make a difference. The team is horrible. Like Buffon wasn't even tested. Like it was an easy day for Buffon. I would give Di Maria only, and Di Maria and Marquinhos the credit because Marquinhos played the number.
No credits to Verratti or Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva, Verratti was all right. It was all right. What's his name? Marquinhos impressed me, and Di Maria. Those were the two key players. I won't give any credit to the managers or the players because United they're just an awful team. They're not even supposed to be in this competition. Like maybe Europa League is the place for United, but they were awful. So it's like I give Di Maria. Di Maria, I liked his reaction because the fans were booing him, and I mean, that was the best reaction from Di Maria. And so
it was. I mean, yeah, fans were stupid.
And with Pogba, I'm not sure. Like his career is going downwards. Like I mean, I know the team is awful, but he needs either he needs to move to another team or either he needs to move to another team or he needs to improve. But I'm looking at recent Chelsea and United performance, and it looks like Mourinho. I mean, I don't know if he was right because these players they're not good. It doesn't look good.
Okay, all right. Liverpool for everybody, man. How do you see the game?
No, I think I'm still amazed that people even thought that United was on some amazing form and best form in Europe. I think people said. I think even you said that, HH. It's back down to earth for them. They on that run, that amazing run that people kept saying they couldn't even beat Burnley. So I'm expecting them to beat PSG. No, no surprise. No surprise.
Well, Machine.
Yeah, I was very surprised, and I hope the people that are saying that they weren't surprised, I'm going to go look at the Hangout, the previous Hangout, and if they didn't predict PSG would win, they're really making fools out of themselves now.
We did, Bashir.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but go ahead, man.
Good.
All right, no. I think
If
I
you were
would win
sitting
based
there predicting that Manchester was going to win, and now you're like, oh, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, you're making.
I know. Go on, Machine.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, I was very surprised because it was a Manchester United that was on the ascendancy. PSG has always failed to live up to the billing, and to do so without their star player in the ranks is surprising. Obviously, there's this idiot in the Guardian named Jonathan Wilson. He wrote this column saying that maybe Neymar's absence suited PSG. Because
that's what I've heard. No, apparently, like Barcelona concede less goals without Neymar.
That's absolutely, but it's ludicrous, man. Come on, I mean, don't.
No. Statistically, that's what they say. That's what the stats say, and I'm not even
But they probably scored 300% more, on the other end.
Yeah, true. Red.
Yeah, I wasn't really surprised because I said last week that PSG was going to go through. I said worst case scenario it would be a draw, because I felt like the universe would be too cruel to have PSG get knocked out in the round of 16 again after all they've invested. So yeah, man, I feel like PSG just killed the game. No Pogba next match. Lingard and Martial are out. Yeah, deserved result for PSG. Great match by Di Maria. Kylian Mbappe quality finished. Kimpembe, man, I feel like he was an unsung hero that night.
Yeah,
Kimpembe, even that finish was quality. That finish,
quality. No. His whole performance was quality, and also people also reminded me, Kimpembe was banned for the second leg of the miracle at the Camp Nou, which was very key.
Yep. And also one last thing, just based off that point that you and Machine were just discussing about Barca conceding less goals, that's due to Valverde being more of a defensive manager. So yeah, that's all.
Okay. Juju man, you owe me an apology.
For what?
Well, we're easy, relax, man. Let me talk. Okay, you owe me half an apology. Yes, they lost, but Ajax put up a great show.
But they lost.
Can I finish? Thank you. I know they lost. That's what I just flipping said. But everybody was insulting me, saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to look like a fool." Based on their performance, they did all right. Let's talk about VAR. How many of you are happy with VAR?
Yep, it was a good decision, right decision.
Okay, okay. Now let me bring in my reasoning here. When I saw the replay, I was like, "All right, I get it, understand." But here is where we have to discuss. Courtois didn't say anything. So if Courtois isn't reacting, why would the referees at the special office decide that they need to review that? Because you're not Courtois. So if you're not Courtois, what gives you the decision to say, "Oh no, sorry, it was blocked"? If he didn't complain, why are you even taking it to video review?
No, I'm completely unhappy with VAR. And theoretically, it's a great addition to the game. But
theoretically, yes.
Yeah, but it opens up even more avenues for corruption.
Wait. In what way? Expand on that. In what way?
Well, in the way that there's no criteria defined for when they use it.
There is.
What is the criteria then?
Clear and obvious errors, goals, mistaken identity.
Wait. One at a time. Okay, forward.
Yeah, they only use it for goals, red cards, clear and obvious errors, and mistaken identity.
No. But that still doesn't say that listen, so there's a controversial goal in the eyes of everybody. That doesn't force the official to use VAR. It's at his own criteria.
No, but they do
automatically. Whenever there's a goal, they automatically go to VAR. If there's any sort of
there's always silent check. The guys on the road.
They don't. The referee doesn't always need to ask. They just automatically check it after every single goal. And if there's any controversy, then they'll do a second check. And then they'll decide to make a decision.
If there's a silent check, it's deeply flawed. because I've seen a lot of fouls happen and without getting called. I've seen a lot of like offsides that weren't
obviously.
called. So it's a deeply flawed system, and it should be on the. I'll tell you what, it should be VAR should be used at the discretion of the teams.
That's true.
Each team should get 5 VAR.
Three. I see.
Right, fine. 3 per match. They can use 3 VAR calls. They say, all right, we want the referee to check the VAR. And to be shown on television for everybody to see. But then again, I've seen shit like that. I've seen VAR being used, and the referee sits there looking at the monitor and still makes the incorrect.
That is what I want to discuss. That is the key. This is the key, and this is my issue with VAR. And I'm so glad that Machine got to that critical point. I'm all for the technology. Because at first I was like, no, I don't want my football to be ruined. I don't want my football to be like tennis, NBA, and rugby. But then when I saw, I was like, look, man, if a right decision is going to be made, that is cool. I was like, okay, fair enough, that's fine. But my thing about it is that I've seen a referee. You've looked at this thing in slow motion, 5 different angles, and you've given the wrong decision. So wait a minute. So you've stopped the game. We've waited for 3, 4, 5 minutes. You've ruined the entire flow of the game. I'm looking at 3, 4, 5 screens like it's the Matrix or like some kind of sci-fi film, and he still made the wrong decision. Then what was the point?
It's not about that.
Well, I think the only takeaway that you get from that kind of thing is that it leaves you without any trace of doubt that the guy is corrupt. That's it's much easier to spot corruption
okay. Wait. I mean, I want to let everyone give it a thought. So, A1, your thoughts and your view on VAR.
Like you said, like I'm all for it, but when you're getting like referees making the wrong decisions despite looking at it, it confuses you. It's like what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, but overall, I'm all for VAR. Hopefully, like even though like the one other bad thing about it was just like the way it disrupts like the flow of the game. But at the same time, if VAR is there for it to correct things, then yeah, I'm all for it. But sometimes referees, if they just move like that as well, you have to think to yourself like, what's going on?
Okay, forward.
All right, so first and foremost, backtracking to your initial point on the Courtois incident, the reason why Courtois didn't complain is because it's the mindset of the goalkeeper to be, first of all, upset with your own performance and the fact that he made a mistake leading to that goal. He doesn't know. He hasn't got Hawkeye vision to know that the guy who was technically blocking him slightly, even though it wasn't a big infringement, was actually offside. He doesn't know that just looking at it from the first-person view. Obviously, when they checked on VAR, they saw that it was a mistake. In terms of VAR as a whole, it's doing its job. It's there to correct the errors, and then ultimately, we're still going to maybe get errors and mistakes here and there because referees make mistakes. They're ultimately still human errors, and they will still make mistakes every now and then. But obviously, this is completely like I don't know what the percentage on it is, but it's certainly reduced the amount of errors we're going to see in games. We saw obviously in the World Cup with South Korea and Germany. Germany would have went through in the group stage had there not been VAR to correct that last minute goal.
No, Ford. I get it, but the issue is that. Do you want football's flow to be ruined by some crackpot referee looking at a instant replay and still getting the decision wrong?
In my opinion, I think it will get better with time. Yes, sometimes every now and then they still went down too much, but I think if we're getting the right decision at the end of the day, then I think it's worth it. If sometimes they check it and we don't get the right decision or it doesn't change the outcome of what would happen, then it can be annoying, but we have to trust this process because ultimately it's doing what's best for the game, which is getting the right decisions and not costing teams invaluable points and money when they're getting decisions that aren't fair judged against them.
All right, Hazan.
Yeah, man. Look, I've been seeing this. We've been having this VAR for a year and a half now in Syria, and look, we've been having many issues with it. There's been many flaws, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's accepted that it increases the chance. The point is not even if the decision that's made is wrong at the end. That's not the point. The point is increasing the chances of making the right decision. So at the end of the day, we know that if the ref didn't have VAR, the chances of making the right decision would be much lower than with VAR, even if he does sometimes make the wrong decision with VARs. So at the end of the day, it makes even you can see that in the stats. There's a much higher percentage of right decisions when VAR is introduced than without it. So even if there's mistakes, it just has to be improved but it's way better than when we didn't have it.
All right. What's it called? Juju man.
I like the VAR because what is it called?
Wait. Juju man. I hope you're not cooking eggs or something, because I'm hearing a lot of.
Oh, the
But if it's-
here's the chair. What is it called? I like VAR because it's better. I never want to see the Chelsea 209 versus Barcelona. I never want to see the 6-1 6-1 against PSG, Barcelona PSG. Even if it distracts the flow of the game, I think they should review every decisions, because they should review every decision. And with VAR, it was, I think with Bundesliga it worked well, World Cup worked well. And so I have no problem with VAR in the Champions League, and I cannot wait for them to use it in their Camp Nou, because that's usually the tricky ground for referees.
And Bernabeu as well.
And yeah, those are usually the tricky grounds for referees. So VAR will be useful there.
Okay, Liverpool, everybody, man.
Yeah, it was always going to have its teething problems. It was never something that was going to be good right away. So it's more for something for the future. And plus, it still has the human element. So we got to just embrace it. It's going to be a while for us to even see anything positive from it, I believe. So,
all right, Red.
Yeah, the technology is in its infancy, and like humans by nature, we don't like change. So when something changes, of course, we're gonna always have some discomfort adjusting to it at first. Because I'm pretty sure people did not like when the golden goal rule was changed.
No, I loved it.
But no, but also the penalty, like when you decided that by penalties, because people were like, like, oh, we're going to decide the match based off luck, or even when the offside rule was taken off, because it's going to take the fluidity from the game. So all I'm saying is that, like with change, of course, you're going to have some pushback, but overall, as long as we're getting the right decisions, or we're at least increasing the chance of getting the right decision, then it's good.
Okay. Let's look at next week's game. So the big one has to be Liverpool against Bayern. I've been watching Bayern really recently. I've been watching quite a few of their games. I don't understand anybody that believes Bayern are going to go through. It just doesn't make sense. I think the only people who feel that Bayern are going to go through are hardcore Bayern fans who still hold out hope, and people that have not been watching Bayern Munich this season. Because if you've been watching Bayern Munich this season, these guys are slow. These guys are problematic. Augsburg, they only just beat Augsburg, and they were behind twice. Augsburg, really? So I don't see if Liverpool, because again, my whole thing with Liverpool is where is your mind at? You pretty much went to the FA Cup because you wanted to focus on the league. So is this a case of where, all right, let's put all of our focus on the league and let's just forget about the Champions League, or, which is what I would recommend, you go out and win every single game that you play in. So, but my whole thing is that whatever their mindsets will be, I think Liverpool should really take out Bayern in this first leg and give them a nice, good cushion in the second leg. The only thing is the whole defensive thing. There's no Van Dijk. That is the only saving grace for Bayern. But apart from that, this team is slow. This team hasn't been playing very well. So if Liverpool don't get at least a 2-goal deficit to win, I think that would be a huge disappointment. So A1, Liverpool Bayern, how do you see it going?
Wait, where's the first leg? Is that Anfield?
Anfield, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
And there's no Van Dijk for the first leg.
I think that's what gives Bayern a chance to maybe get a goal, because this season Liverpool have been very solid, even in the big games. Like you saw against Napoli, they didn't concede a goal, but with no Van Dijk, and if Lovren plays, I can see Lewandowski getting a goal, and maybe Liverpool getting a win, or maybe it could be a draw, but definitely I can see Bayern Munich getting a goal. They've got like a little attack.
I need a scoreline. I need a scoreline.
1-1.
First leg. 1-1.
Yeah. Actually,
wait. So Liverpool won't win?
No.
Of course. Oh my God! What the hell?
2-2.
All right.
2-2.
Damn. Forward.
Yeah, I was one of those who was giving Bayern a chance, and I still give them a bit of a chance, but now I have to switch out now, man. I mean, I've been watching them in the league, and they've just not been impressive. They lack that dynamism and attack, and honestly, I think from their point of view, they're regretting not pushing harder for Hudson-Odoi, because I think he would have changed things up in their attack. Again, I'm not
100%.
convinced by Coleman at all. Gnabry's good, but I'm not convinced by Coleman whatsoever. So, yeah, I think you got Liverpool the edge. Again, maybe Van Dijk not being there gives them a chance for Lewandowski to maybe score a goal. But I mean, let me ask the question: what happens if Lewandowski doesn't produce in this tie again? I mean, surely we'll say that he's not one of
He's
the
done,
elite
he's
strikers
done,
anymore.
he's done,
Yeah, he's done out here, man. So he has to produce, man. He has to produce.
And
for-
it is
for
scoreline.
when
It
he's
is
out there.
scoreline.
Yeah, my scoreline. You know what? It's at Anfield. They've had a long break as well. I'm gonna go something. I'm gonna say 4-1, man.
Whoa!
4-1 to Bayern.
Jesus.
Bayern? No. Liverpool.
Jesus wept. Jesus wept. Hassan,
Look, man, this is a tough one because look, I've also been watching Bayern.
your boy has to show up, man. If he doesn't show up, I'm inducting
I
him.
need my boy. I need Lewandowski to show up, man. I need him to show up, and I think he's gonna show up. Like this is his perfect chance with Van Dijk out. He has to be able to. But the key thing also is Coleman. Coleman's been hitting form. I know he's been up and down, but this latest form is really good, and he's been pretty fast and effective on that wing. But also Gnabry has been scoring. Midfield's been doing well. I know they've been a bit slow, but I think obviously Liverpool at Anfield is really hard. But it's gonna be an interesting battle. But Bayern is gonna sit a bit deeper. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw.
All right, Gigi man.
I'm going with. I mean, I said Bayern initially, but the defense is worrying me because I keep seeing they concede a lot of goals, and I'm not sure how. And Sule and Hummels are really slow because I don't know how they're going to keep up with Salah. Like, but I don't think. I'm thinking it won't be bad. If worst comes to us, it's a 3-1 win by Liverpool. But I expect Liverpool to. They should easily win, and with Lewandowski, I mean, even if he doesn't perform, this team, I know they don't look good. Even if he doesn't perform, I expect him to score.
No excuses. No excuses. Gigi man, no
like,
excuses.
seriously, this team, I'm not sure they're that good because it's like.
Seriously, no
But
excuses.
he'll do. I expect Liverpool to win 3-1 and Lewandowski to score the one goal for Bayern, and it'll still keep them. But Liverpool should win on the next or this week.
Okay. Everybody, how do you think your boy's gonna do?
A little concerned. There's talk that Henderson will be playing center back next to Matip, so that's a bit of a worry. And I think Lewandowski versus Henderson that gives me some concerns. But I think we can get the win 3-1. I'm pretty confident in that scoreline.
Machine.
Yeah, I think Liverpool are going to steamroll Bayern.
Oh my god.
And it's interesting because I was reading an interview with Robin, and he said Liverpool is the toughest. That Anfield is the toughest stadium to play at for him, and that it was the worst possible draw that they could have gotten. I think it's also him like making some excuse making.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
he knows that Bayern is not in form at all.
Yep.
And he's preparing for defeat, basically.
Robin, please be fit. I beg you. Red.
Okay, Chichi, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think the Bundesliga is going to take 3 L's to the Premier League? Because Dortmund already lost to Spurs.
Yes.
Schalke's going to get crucified by Man City.
Yes.
You really think
3
Bayern?
L's, yes.
Oh no! I can't. For the sake of balance in the universe, I will say Bayern 2-1. And it's also there's a reason.
Look, Red.
I do think
Thanos doesn't watch for football, so
I'm telling. I really think no. I think it's because of Van Dijk. Van Dijk is going to be a big miss. This guy's vital to Liverpool. So I do fancy that Bayern might edge it because from a Madrid fan, you could here, take this from me. League form means nothing in the Champions League.
Yep.
League form means nothing because we were trashed last season in the league, but we somehow managed to do it in the Champions League. So I don't want to. Sorry, go ahead.
I need a scoreline.
3-1 Bayern.
Oh, no, Red. Come on. No.
Can I just say?
You can't do that. No,
I want to counter Red's points.
Can I just say that?
I can't. No. Give me another scoreline. No, you can't do that. Can
I just add to Red's point? Can I just add to Red's point? That league form doesn't show anything in the Champions League. Ajax lost to Heracles before the Madrid game, and look what they did in the first half versus Madrid.
But to counter both your points, league form actually means something because what is it called? If the Madrid thing, it'll catch up to them. You can't perform bad on the weekend and perform well in the midweek. It'll catch up to them. As for Ajax, they're not winning anything. They're not winning anything in this Champions League. So it's like I don't think the league form will catch up to you when it's about fine margins in
But
the semi-finals.
Juju, don't you think that maybe they could be focusing more on the week's game more than the weekend game, and that's why they probably underperformed against Augsburg? Maybe they were preparing or resting vital players for their tactics against.
Can I tell you? Can I just say something?
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree with who was speaking.
Red.
Sorry, man. But the league form doesn't necessarily translate into Champions League form, but in the Bundesliga it has to, because the Bundesliga is a one horse race. So if they're losing against the minnows of the Bundesliga, then it's really bad news for.
Plus the one I was
that's what I'm trying to get you guys to flipping understand.
They're not losing though. They're not losing.
No, they're barely winning though. They're barely winning, and one thing is
doesn't matter. Juventus are barely winning this season most of the games.
No, Juventus.
No. I've watched how they have been playing and how Bayern have been playing. Bayern look like a team who are in badly need of a revamp.
Yeah, they're conceding so many goals. I'm concerned because, and another thing is, I saw like the Dortmund results made me a bit concerned, because if Dortmund, like, they're top leaders and they come to Spurs and get beaten, I mean, they're in the same league with Bayern. How good are Bayern? And I'm looking at the results.
Okay, wait. Okay, we have to move. We have to, because we're almost near time. So we're all in agreement that Leon are gonna, Barcelona are gonna beat. So okay, let me hear. So Leon are at home first leg. Is everybody saying Barca win this first leg, or
hell no?
Okay, wait, easy. Okay, A1 score. Leon, Barcelona. Leon are at home.
Barcelona winning, man.
Score. I need this score line.
2-1.
Wow. Forward.
3-2 Leon. I've been watching a lot of Barcelona this year, and they've not been impressive to me at all.
True.
Again, I don't know if Messi's gonna get away with walking around like he does in the league, but I don't think that shit runs in UCL. Secondly, if Dembele is not performing like he can, I don't know who's going to carry that team, because Suarez came on the other day was absolutely horrendous. Sergio Roberto's an absolute bum at right back. They haven't got Arthur in their midfield, so they're going to get eaten up by Dembele. So again, they need to hope that they only lose 3-2 in my prediction. They could even lose by more. And again, with VAR at the new camp, they're not going to get that luck that they normally get.
Look, they're not using any VAR at new camp. I checked. So you're saying 3-2 to Leon?
Yeah, 3-2 Leon. 100%.
Hasn't.
Look, man, Leon are gonna show up this game. Like they've known to be coming up in big games this season, and look, they're gonna play defensive. They usually play defensive against the big teams. They're gonna go sit back and play on the counter. They have the perfect players with Depay and Traore for the counter, and they have the good players to give limited spaces to Barcelona in between the lines, like obviously Aouar and Dembele. So I think they're gonna be able to hold down. But obviously, as I said last week, Barca will be able to get the goal. But yeah, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Yeah, 1-1 draw in the first. But Barca's going through it then.
All right. Jujuman.
I'm expecting Barcelona to win, even though this should be a tough game for Barcelona. But I saw Lyon in the group stages, and they're not clinical. They play really well, but they're not clinical. So that's my main concern with Lyon, and that's why I'm going with the 2-1 Barcelona win.
All right, Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree with Juju that they're not very clinical in the final third, but I think they'll look good to get some goals, but I think it'll be a tough 2-2 draw against Barcelona.
All right. Machine.
Can somebody remind me what the result of the first leg was?
What?
Was there a first leg?
Oh my god!
Do you?
This is the first leg.
No. This is the first leg. Leon, Barcelona.
Okay, so this is the first leg. So I think Barcelona are going to walk in.
Score.
Score 2-0, 3-0.
Whoa. All right, Red.
I'm siding with Barca on this one. I think they're going to just be 2-1. I think Leon will get some counterattacking threats, but overall, I don't think they're going to be clinical. And is Fekir going to be playing? Because I heard he's out.
No,
he's out.
He's out. Yeah. So So there you go. So I really think Barca will be able to pull it off, because without Fekir, they might have a chance, but without it, there's no chance really.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, before you close here, I just want to say one message out to Kadeem. We miss you, Kadeem. He's obviously a regular of the Hangout, but he's been missing ever since Dortmund got lubricated at Wembley. So
look. If I was him,
God only knows what will happen.
I wouldn't come back. Okay, so look, let's. So we're all in agreement that Schalke should invoke the forfeit rule. So
No.
Hasm, give
Look,
me.
I don't think you guys are disrespecting Schalke.
Hasm, give me a break.
It's not going to be that big of a win as you guys think. I think it's gonna Man City are gonna win, but just barely in the first leg. Schalke home, like they already sit back in the Bundesliga. They play defensively. They're gonna sit back even deeper now. I don't think Man City are gonna get many spaces in the attack, and I think they'll win.
Hasm, they're getting lubricated. They're getting.
And Hassan, to your point, Hassan. One thing I want to say, not to your point, I want to counter your point. Man City last year would have probably had a tough time breaking down the teams that sit back, but this season, Pep has improved this team with the addition of Bernardo Silva. They've been destroying low block teams for the whole season. So I don't even though I said Schalke would win last week, but I only said that just to give them some respect.
Yeah, but I don't think Schalke defending is as bad as Premier League defending. That's the thing.
Oh no, bro. Yeah, okay, no, I'm not talking about it. I'm not.
No, look, Schalke are pretty bad, bro. Like that's why they're like 10th, 11th in the league. No,
they're 14th.
What? Oh god,
it's
14th. But this is the Champions League.
No.
They're not even supposed to be here.
Don't bring up the Champions League thing. Wait a second. I can give you 6th. Maybe I'll give you 7th. 14th, and you're turning up to a Champions League second round. They shouldn't even be allowed to turn up to
man. Oh my.
Nah.
Wolfsburg. Remember when they beat Madrid?
For forfeits rule, Jerry. Atletico Juventus, guys. Let's be real. Let's be real right now. And I know that this may sound rude. Juventus could win both legs. Atletico are done. I don't know why. I don't know whether Simeone is. Apparently, he's getting paid the most for any manager. So
they gave him a new contract.
What's happening? Because you've signed a new contract. You're not taking the team anywhere. You're not going to win anything with this team. So is this like some kind of like mob thing or ties or something? So basically, okay. So what are you guys saying? So A1, Juve, Atletico, first leg.
Where is it? Is it at home?
At Atletico's crib, first leg.
I can see Juventus getting a 1-0 victory. It's going to be a boring game, teams trying to sitting back, parking the bus, It's going to be a very boring game. I could just see Ronaldo just turning up and just scoring a goal.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I can see that 1-0 Juventus. Or if not, maybe 1-1. Actually, 1-1. It'll be 1-1.
All right, forward.
Yeah, I'm very confident in my pick. I think Atletico will definitely win the first leg, and I feel that's going to set the tempo for the second leg as well. From Juventus' point of view,
wait. You know, Morata's a striker, bro. You know that.
They have Griezmann, right? And as long as he gets one chance, he's going to score. Like, I trust him to score past Chesney in a one-on-one situation. So I trust him.
Chesney's been amazing.
No, wait. No, forward. I've seen him miss without a goalkeeper. So you're thinking that he will...
Chesney's been one of the best keepers in Europe.
The most important thing that was said in his hangout was from Red. He said that league form doesn't matter in the Champions League, and that fully applies to a team like Atletico Madrid. Yes, their style of play hasn't been great for them in the league, and that's why they're not in a title race realistically. But in the Champions League, that's where their style of play works especially well. Again, when they're first leg and they're going to be having the Metropolitano behind them, they're standing behind them, all they need to do is get a win of any kind of sort, go into the second leg, and they can easily camp out and get a clean sheet there. That's not beyond the realms of possibility. Again, I trust Atletico with their defense and their UCL know how to be able to do that. And that's why I was going to go on to my next point, which is the most important players for Juventus are going to be their fullbacks, Cancelo and Sergio. Whether they can get the service into the air for Ronaldo and Mandzukic is going to be the key for them. If they don't, it's going to be it's going to be a short 180 minutes for them. It's going to fly by, and I think that's why I see Atletico going through over the two legs.
Oh,
how's it?
Look, man. I think there's going to be a round of Champions League draws. I think this is going to be a draw again, 1-1. And look, Juventus, obviously, they've been hitting good form. The great match recently. I think Ronaldo, he's not going to score in this game. I think Mandzukic, someone like that, is going to score the goal for early goal for them. But I think Atletico is going to get back in it. This is the Metropolitano. It's really tough place to be, especially in the Champions League. And you saw with Dortmund, they got battered by Dortmund, and then they came to Metropolitano and beat them. So I think Juventus is gonna try and control the game, because they do that against teams that sit deeper. But Atletico will be hitting them at that counter, and it's going to be dangerous. I know Bonucci and Chiellini are back. That's why I'm saying it's not going to be more than a goal conceded. But yeah, I'm going with a 1-1.
All right.
Juventus going through at the end.
Jujima.
I mean, I'm looking at excuses of how Athletic can beat Juve, but I can't come with any. I can't come up with any because Simeone, I don't know what he's doing. I should be excited for this game, but I'm not because it's like I feel like Juventus are just going to. I mean, I know Juventus are going to edge. I agree. They're probably going to win both legs, and like.
Both legs.
Yeah, but I think I might skip this game and watch maybe the other game because the City Schalke.
You know the other game is Man City, right?
No,
Wait,
I
give me
might
a
watch the
scoreline. Give me a
City
scoreline in
Schalke.
this first leg. Give me a scoreline. I need a
Scoreline. Okay, I'm going. I agree with Hazem. It might be like a boring 1-1. No, screw it. 2-1. 2-1 Juventus. 2-1 Juventus.
All right. Okay. Machine.
I think this is the only really tough tie out of all of them. But the GOAT is coming in hot. You're going to have some frosted tips. February is one of his favorite months to start rising.
Machine, can you please just give me a bloody score? I don't want to hear bloody soliloquy.
It should be 2-1, and I also want to call out a couple of idiots in the comment section.
Okay, Machine. That's you've talked. Red.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys. I don't know what you guys talking about because I think this match is going to be incredible. It's going to be who does it better. Because they both play a similar style of football. But I'm really excited for Atletico because ever since bringing in Morata, they've looked like though they did lose their last matches in their last match. So Simeone sort of switched it up a little bit and went a bit more attacking. Because now HH you have Griezmann, Morata as a double striker in front of goal, which is I believe it is your dream. You've always asked for that. Griezmann, Morata, 2 strikers at the front, and then you have Diego Costa who can come in as a sub. The depth in attack there is going to be I think it's going to have an impact on the game. I also think, like Hazem said, one of the Ronaldo is going to be effective on this game, but he's not going to be the one that score. I think Mandzukic probably is going to show up because I feel like Atleti are going to pay more attention to Ronaldo, which would free up Mandzukic again.
So,
sorry,
go ahead. I need a scoreline.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll say a 1-0 Atleti.
All right, guys. It's been swell. I shall see you guys next week, man. And look, man. All I'll say is this, man. Lewandowski, you're being watched.